last week, I did something incredibly stupid. I locked my smartphone in a drawer, turned it off, and attempted to survive a full 7 days using nothing but wearable artificial intelligence. No screens, no scrolling, no apps. For years, tech companies have promised that AI hardware would free us from screen addiction. But after 168 hours of trying to navigate daily life, make payments, and answer messages using pins, rings, and smart glasses, I realized the tech industry is hiding a massive truth. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 specific AI gadgets I used, how they actually performed in the real world, and the exact moment this experiment completely fell apart. Day 1 started the way every good experiment should, with total confidence. The Plaud NotePin clips to your collar and vanishes into your outfit. No screen, no interface, no reason to think about it. Just a quiet microphone turning your spoken world into structured notes, categorized by AI, waiting for you at the end of the day. In meetings and lectures, it felt like a superpower, the kind that makes you wonder why you ever type notes by hand. Then the day ended, and the tasks I'd spoken aloud, casually, confidently, into empty air, had no visual confirmation, no checkbox, no timestamp I could glance at and trust. The NotePin captured everything. I just couldn't shake the feeling that if I couldn't see it, it hadn't happened. Day 1 taught me less about the device and more about how completely a screen had rewired my sense of reality. Day 2 introduced the most visually interesting device of the experiment. The rabbitOS is a bright orange pocket computer that has no app store, no home screen, and no grid of icons to navigate. Just a scroll wheel, a rotating camera, and a voice interface connected to rabbitOS 2's multi-agent system. A layer of AI that reaches directly into Uber, Spotify, and Midjourney on your behalf. Ask it to book a ride. It books us one. Ask it to generate an image. It generates one. The web compressed into a walkie-talkie. For stretches of day 2, it felt genuinely revolutionary. Then the voice AI misheard me, and I reached for the scroll wheel, and I scrolled, and scrolled. And somewhere in that tiny rotating dial, I felt the full weight of every touchscreen I'd ever taken for granted. Day 3 was the most cinematic day of the experiment, and the most humbling. The Ray-Ban Meta Gen 2 looks indistinguishable from regular glasses. No bulky frames, no glowing displays, just eyewear that quietly photographs what you see, navigates where you're going, and answers questions before you think to ask them. Walking through the city with audio directions in your ear felt effortless, natural. Like the technology had dissolved into the background exactly the way it was supposed to, until a notification hit, an urgent message, read aloud by a calm AI voices, letter by letter, swallowed whole by street noise and crowd chatter. No screen to glance at, no way to skim, just waiting for the voice to finish while the world moved around you. The glasses are extraordinary, but silence is a prerequisite they never mentioned. By day 4, the cracks were showing. 4 days without phone notifications means 4 days of things slipping, names you meant to follow up on, tasks you said out loud and immediately forgot. So I added one more device, the Limitless Pendant, a small magnetic clip that sits on your collar, silently recording every conversation you have, structuring your day into action items without you lifting a finger. It works, quietly, invisibly, almost disturbingly well. But the moment someone notices it, the conversation stops. Not pauses, stops. In 2026, people know what ambient recording looks like. They've read the headlines. And suddenly, you're not having a meeting anymore. You're having an explanation, a justification, a negotiation over consent that nobody scheduled. The Pendant doesn't just record your day. It changes how people behave inside it. By day 5, I thought I understood screenless devices. I didn't. The Fitbit Air is a plain band. No display, no haptic alerts, no glowing interface demanding your attention. Gemini AI handles everything underneath, tracking sleep, stress, and movement without surfacing a single number unless you ask. After 4 days of devices that still required interaction, this one required nothing. That should have felt like relief. Mostly it did. But the absence of a screen revealed something the other devices kept hidden. Every time I reached for visual confirmation, a step count, a heart rate, a small green ring of approval, and found nothing, I understood how deeply that loop was wired in. The Fitbit Air is the most passive device of this experiment. It's also the one that taught me the most about myself. By day 6, the experiment had a rhythm. Devices that promised everything, delivered most of it, and broke in exactly one specific way. The Muse One continued that tradition beautifully. A titanium ring with integrated contactless payment, no app, no screen, no phone required. Tapping your finger against a card reader feels less like a transaction and more like a reflex, something your body just does. Walking through a store that way, you understand immediately why this form factor exists. It is, without question, the most seamless payment experience I've ever had, until the terminal flagged a verification check, two-factor authentication. Code sent to your phone. 6 days in, no phone in hand, and the entire financial system politely informed me that frictionless only works when someone else doesn't require friction. The ring is extraordinary. The infrastructure around it isn't ready. By day 7, the experiment told the truth. Some tasks require a screen, not because the technology hasn't caught up, but because reading a contract, composing a long email, or watching something that demands your full attention simply cannot be offloaded to audio or a scroll wheel or a blank wristband. So instead of a phone, I reached for the XREAL Air 2 Ultra, lightweight spatial glasses that project a massive virtual display into the air in front of you. Private, portable, and completely invisible to everyone around you, which is exactly the problem. Sitting in a local cafe, staring at a monitor only I could see, I realized the week had come full circle. I'd replaced my phone screen. I'd just looked completely unhinged doing it. 7 days of frictionless technology, and the final lesson was about friction with other people. After 168 hours, here is the brutal truth. Wearable AI in 2026 is extraordinary at one thing, gathering. It records, transcribes, tracks, navigates, and pays. Silently, continuously, without asking anything of you. 7 devices, 7 days, and not one of them failed at collecting data about your life. But none of them could act on urgency. When someone calls in a panic, when a flight gate changes with 20 minutes to spare, when you need an answer in 3 seconds. Voice commands are too slow. Menace are too deep. The muscle memory of a glass rectangle wins every time. Not because it's elegant, but because it's instant. AI wearables aren't smartphone killers. They're smartphone accessories. Powerful, fascinating, genuinely useful ones, but accessories nonetheless. The phone isn't going anywhere. It's just getting better company. Surviving without a phone is possible, but only if your workspace handles the heavy lifting when your screen is turned off. If you want to see the ultimate hardware setup to pair with these AI wearables, click on this video right here where I uncovered 14 Unreal Desk gadgets that will completely change your workflow.